His waist was a lot more dramatically smaller.
What's up guys and welcome. You're watching Fuzzy Fitness. Starting this video with the latest physical update of the mutant Nick Walker. Now that he is done with the guest posings, he is turning into a real freak again. I mean the way he usually looks. So he intentionally stayed in a very good spot for that Pittsburgh Pro guest posing. Especially the waistline looked much improved than previous year. Because the thing is, he knew he will get compared to the likes of David Lansford and Samson Dowd, of course. And no one can deny that Nick Walker looked extremely impressive at Pittsburgh Pro. A shape guy like Chris Cormier, who was there in the crowd at Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, he had some really nice things to say about Nick Walker.
I was looking at all the different attributes he had and didn't have, and I thought he looked, tons better and leaner this year.
Now the plan has been set out by his coach Matt Jensen for this year's Olympia in November. One thing is certain, that we are gonna see a fully blown version of Nick Walker at this year's Mr. Olympia. Because he has said this before, that he is gonna play by his strengths now. And his strengths are sheer mass plus conditioning. And if in fact he succeeds in doing what he says he's gonna do, he is gonna be extremely hard to beat at this year's Mr. Olympia. Toronto Pro 2023 is gonna be one hell of a show. Ross Patrick, aka Ross Flanagan, just made things very exciting for the fans, as he has just confirmed via post on his IG that he is heading to Canada. And just because he earned his Olympia qualification last week, people were speculating that Ross would probably drop out of this show. But massive respect for Ross for honoring his commitment and showing up at Toronto Pro. So Iain Valliere has to bring the best condition here, because that isn't a weak lineup anymore. And I'm not saying that it was before. I mean, Hassan Mustafa is gonna be there. Now, looking at some of his recent updates, he looks bang on target. That's what you call grainy see-through skin. Now at his best, Iain wins this show without a shadow of a doubt. But the thing is, he will certainly feel some pressure over here, because he has to redeem himself. He has to regain that momentum and the confidence after what we can call a relatively weak performance at this past Mr. Olympia. So speaking of California Pro, it is kinda unfortunate that the 2022 champion of this contest was unable to make it to the stage because he tore his chest doing some heavy incline presses. So this is the first update from Charles Griffen after a gap of like 3 weeks. He is still in the recovery phase, and his entire focus has been shifted towards the betterment of his quads. It was a great version of Charles that we saw at Cali Pro last year, but unlucky for Charles Griffen, because all this time that could have been used to make improvements, that time is now lost. So Charles will be back later this year to attempt to get his Olympia qualification for this year. So wishing him a speedy recovery, and cannot wait to see him get back on the stage again. Nihat Kaya has to be the most genetically gifted 20 years old in the bodybuilding world right now. There is just no explanation on how a guy at such a young age could have such a great size and those insane muscle bellies. It's just top tier genetics. These pictures are taken 10 days out of the show, which means he is flat and depleted. So can't imagine what he will look like when he dries out and fills up. That condition is already looking insane. Striated glutes and feathers on the quads. So what do you guys think? Is it a beginning of a new great career in bodybuilding? So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.